Good morning, boys and girls. Well, now we're going to read a book that's called Amphibians and Reptiles. A lot of people mix up these two very different groups. So we're going to take a look at the characteristics that make up amphibians and reptiles. So this is a compare and contrast book. We're going to look at some of the things that are the same, comparing, and we're going to look at some of the things that are different, contrasting. So let's take a look at amphibians and reptiles. Amphibians and Reptiles, a compare and contrast book. Amphibians and reptiles are two different classes of animals. Scientists who study them are called herpetologists. So if you're going to study reptiles or amphibians, you could be a herpetologist. There are three main types of amphibians: frogs and toads, salamanders and newts, and caecilians. So you have three different kinds of amphibians. There are four different kinds of reptiles: crocodilians, tuatara, lizard, worm lizards and snakes, turtles, and tortoises. So there are three different kinds of amphibians, but four different kinds of reptiles. And the tuatara, that is only found in New Zealand. And we know someone from New Zealand. Yep, you're right. It's me. Amphibians and reptiles are cold-blooded. Oh, so that's something they have the same. This Olympic salamander stays moist and cool by resting on wet earth. This American alligator keeps warm by resting in the sun. So both amphibians and reptiles need the sun in order to warm themselves. Most amphibians hatch from eggs in the water. Most reptiles hatch from eggs on land. So both come from eggs, but some are in the water for amphibians and on land for reptiles. When amphibians hatch, they live in the water as tadpoles. As they grow, their bodies change in a process called metamorphosis. So amphibians born in the water come as tadpoles and then go through metamorphosis to become their adult selves. When reptiles are young, they look like small versions of their adult selves. So as a young sea turtle, I look a lot like a big adult sea turtle. I'm just smaller and maybe a different color. That's about it. Amphibians absorb oxygen from the water when they are young and from the air when they are adults. Reptiles breathe oxygen their entire lives. Most amphibians have moist, smooth skin. So it's got to be moist, not absolutely soaking wet, but moist. It's wet to the touch. Reptiles have dry scales. Yeah, that looks pretty dry and leathery to me, kind of like old boots. There are many different types of amphibians. Some, like this poison dart frog, are poisonous to predators that try to touch or eat them. So I don't think I want to eat this guy. Yeah, that would probably make me pretty sick. There are many different kinds of reptiles. Some, like this rattlesnake, inject venom through their teeth. This helps them attack their prey or defend themselves against predators. If you look really closely, you can see the venom in drips on the edge of their fangs. Amphibians and reptiles live all around us. So you'll often see these two groups or two classes of animal, but they have very different features and some features the same. And here is some information for creative minds about reptiles and amphibians. All right, my friends, that's what we know now about amphibians and reptiles, and we're going to use that information to help us complete the assignment below. So scroll on down and see what you need to do.